Hello friends, welcome back to Endo Tales from Life. In this video, we are going to do an exciting product review about irrigation device launched in the market recently. The reason why I am saying this is exciting is because of the technology involved in the development of this product. And as Indian, I take real pride about introducing this product because this product was developed or invented by an Indian and it is being marketed right now by COXO across the world. So though I was aware of this product ever since it was launched, I should extend my thanks to my senior and mentor who actually asked me the review about this particular product, and that's when I got in touch with the inventor himself, Dr. Mandar Pimpika sir, and he was generous enough to send me a demo unit at once, and which helped us do this product review. So thank you sir for the help, and let us go into the review of this product. So as usual, as all our Endo Tales, this review is also going to be an unbiased product review. So when I initially saw the videos of this product, I personally thought, or my first impression was that this could be a complicated device. But I was totally wrong. When I unboxed it, I realized that this is a very simple system, unlike what I thought. So the assembling of this unit was very simple. It does not have a lot of accessories. It basically has this main unit which is and has an attached handpiece, and all we have to do is just attach these two containers or beakers. So on the right you can see the small container, and on the left you can see a bigger container. So the smaller container is what we are going to fill with the irrigant of our choice, and these tubings were provided separately, which I can attach easily to them and connect it to the inlet of the device. The same way you can also assemble the bigger beaker on the left side, which is used for collecting the evacuated fluid after irrigation. So the main component of this device is the irrigation tips. So they provide two types of tips. One is the tip A, the other one is the tip B. So when you buy a new pack, they give you 5 tip A and 5 tip B, and these are autoclavable and reusable. So both the tips have certain features that are in common to each other, and there are some marked differences between them as well. So that's what I'm going to explain. So first let's see what is common between them. Both the tips have a combination of two needles. You can see one needle that is longer in length and the other needle which is shorter in length. Now what's the difference between tip A and tip B? Basically tip A, the entire length is slightly shorter. Even the longer needle of tip A is slightly shorter than tip B, and the shorter needle of tip A is slightly wider in bore or wider in diameter compared to the shorter needle of tip B. So basically tip A is used for initial irrigation during instrumentation, where a lot of gross debris needs to be evacuated, and tip B is used for the final irrigation. So I made this simple animation for you to all understand in a much more easier way the role of tip A and tip B, and what exactly is positive pressure irrigation and what exactly is negative pressure irrigation. So you can see visibly that tip A is slightly shorter in length. It's basically used only for the coronal and middle third of irrigation. It's positive pressure. What do I mean by positive pressure is the irrigant is going to be expelled through the longer needle and it is going to be sucked through the shorter needle. So this is basically a positive pressure, like our conventional needle irrigation. And you can see the flow of irrigant is going to be like this. This is going to come down. It's going to flow a few millimeters beyond the depth of the needle insertion, and then it's going to be sucked by the the shorter needle of the tip A. Whereas the tip B is a negative pressure irrigation device. I can see it's much more longer, so you can reach the apical third, and the irrigant here is going to be delivered through the shorter needle, and it's going to be sucked down by the longer needle. So this is called negative pressure irrigation, where the longer cannula is going to suck the irrigant that is being just deposited from the orifice. So this is how the flow of the irrigant is going to be in negative pressure or the tip B. So this has two advantages. The irrigant, then we make sure that the irrigant reaches the apical thread, and also since it's negative pressure, the irrigation is not going to extrude at all. So now let us see how the tips are attached to the handpiece. This is the safety cup that is provided with the handpiece when it's being dispatched. And when we are going to use this unit, we are going to remove the safety cup from the handpiece head, and you can either attach tip A or tip B based on your need, like this, and it is secured with this thread, and that's it, you're ready to go. So the entire assembling part and also attaching the tip, both are pretty simple and easy. Now let us go into what are all the functions or the different modes that are available. So there are almost 6 different modes, and basically for irrigation purpose we are only going to use either 1, 2 or the third mode. And apart from these 3 modes, there is one another thing that stands out with this product, which is the ability to irrigate with a warm solution, and the heating doesn't happen in the reservoir or the beaker. The heating happens within the handpiece. So it's also a controlled heating where we know that the warming of the solution is only to 50 degrees Celsius. So a lot of studies has previously proven that warm irrigant has a much better efficacy for tissue dissolving property or being antibacterial property, and a lot of other benefits as well. So this enables delivering the irrigant with this warm irrigant. That is another big advantage of the system. And they also provide you another beaker for the irrigant, like a beaker A and beaker B, so that maybe if you are planning to use a hypo in the initial part, you can use a warm irrigant, and later you can also alternately use saline or EDTA, which you do not want to warm. You can prevent interaction between them by having 2 separate beakers for your irrigant. So let us see how the modes or the buttons are going to work. Like I told you, I was surprised that it is very simple. There is no complications at all. The green button here is the one that is used for just positive pressure evacuation or irrigation, and the red one is for suction alone. And this is my favorite mode. The third one is where you have a combination of positive pressure and negative pressure, and the fourth one is for you to either choose to warm the irrigant or not. And the key on the right side is specifically just for cleaning or using in an accelerated mode in the beginning to bring the irrigant right till the tip of the cannula, so we don't waste time. So there is an accelerated mode for that, but basically what we are going to use all are on the left side. I'll repeat again, the green one, when I just press the green button, the irrigant is only going to be extruded from the tip, and when I press the red button, it's only going to suck, it's only going to act like an endo suction. And only when you place or touch the white button on the top, that is the continuous irrigation, irrigant delivery and evacuation simultaneously, which is what I prefer, and that's what I'm going to show you in this demonstration as well. And yes, when I'm going to use hypo, I will obviously warm it. That's the 4th button. And when I don't want to warm, that's like when I'm using saline or EDT or any other irrigant, I can always switch it off. Now, like I previously mentioned, the tip A is going to be a positive pressure irrigant. So this is how tip A looks like. And I'm just going to show you how the irrigant is going to be expelled from tip A. You can see that it's coming from the longer needle, and this is positive pressure, just like how we do manual irrigation, but the only advantage is there's a controlled flow. And the shorter needle is going to act like a suction. As you can see here, the longer needle is expelling and the shorter needle is actually aspirating or sucking the fluid. Whereas tip B is exactly opposite. It's the negative pressure system. You can see it's pretty longer compared to the tip A. And you can see how the irrigant is coming out. The irrigant is actually expelled through the shorter needle of the tip B and not from the longer needle. This is exactly opposite to tip A. You can see the irrigant is actually coming from the shorter needle, which is only going to deposit the irrigant at the orifice level, and the longer needle is going to suck the irrigant right till the point of penetration, or even 2 or 3 millimeters beyond the tip. The irrigant is going to be pushed down and then it's going to be pulled, and thus making sure the irrigant reaches the working length, but still the fear of extrusion is not there. And as you can see, the tip B is slightly longer. It might be difficult to take in cases with limited mouth opening. That's why they provided a bending tool so that you can actually pre-bend the long needle, that is the tip B. And the manufacturer prefers using this pre-bending tool so that you don't actually make a very acute bend and block the cannula. So this tip A is basically used during instrumentation, especially during the initial instrumentation phase, where a lot of debris is being created. As you can see in this acrylic block, after my initial orifice shaper, there is a lot of debris. And now we are using tip A, where the irrigant is actually coming from the longer needle and the shorter needle in the coronal part is actually sucking the excess fluid. So since this needle is not taken to the apical third, the fear of extrusion is not there. And once this is done, after the entire instrumentation is done, and when the canal is being prepared or ready for the final irrigation, we will use the tip B. So here again, this is a clinical demonstration of tip A after the initial orifice opening. We are making sure the coronal and middle third is cleared of debris before we use the tip B. So the tip B is basically used in the end after all the instrumentation is done and the major irrigation has been performed with the tip A. So you can see the tip B is pretty long and it is going to suck the fluid down to the apical third. The shorter needle on the top is going to deliver the fluid. And this is basically how negative pressure actually works. With no fear of extrusion, the fluid is still drawn to the apical third. And this is my clinical demonstration of how tip B works. After final instrumentation, you can see there is still a pretty good amount of debris, and the tip B is able to evacuate the debris without getting clogged, which was a problem with endovac, which is also a negative pressure system which can easily get clogged when there is a lot of debris. So I'm intentionally trying it with some debris, and you can see the tip B is able to irrigate and evacuate in spite of a lot of debris being present. And I have pre-bent this needle so that I can reach the mesiobuccal and mesiolingual canal of lower molars, and still the pre-bending has not affected the flow of the irrigant here. So in the end, you can also use this red button, which is used for a pure suction mode to dry the canal, This just aspirates the fluid from all the canals before I use a paper point. I can use this to dry the canals as well. And this is how the pulp chamber looks and the canals look after just using this system. I haven't used any other accessory irrigation with needles or ultrasonics. Now let's do the critical analysis of this device in an unbiased manner, which we always do in all our endo tails. So when I have to talk about the benefits of this system, it's already proven that the negative pressure system are very good for the cleaning ability and for safety, and this was my study that we performed in our department, and the results were pretty similar to almost a lot of other studies. The negative pressure irrigation system definitely produces much cleaner canals, as you can see in the second row, compared to the conventional syringe irrigation that is present in the top row. The negative pressure system, like an endovac that was used in our study, definitely produced much cleaner canals. And the endovac system was little complicated, is not very easy to use, and the advantage of this device is that it's completely automated and extremely simple to use. So when we talk about efficacy, it is definitely going to be effective. Now when I had to critically point out at something, frankly it was very tough, because this is a device that has been developed with a lot of thinking and hard work, but still I personally felt that both the tips of both the needles of tip A and tip B are both made of metals, and we all know that there is a recent gradual shift from metal manual irrigation needle to plastic irrigation needle, like we have discussed in one of our previous endo tail. So I personally felt maybe one of the needles, the longer needle of tip B especially, if it was made of a polymer, it could reach better in curved canals. But for this query, the inventor gave me an answer that then even if the metal needle cannot reach right till the apex, the irrigant is still pushed far away from the tip, because it is being sucked with pressure. The irrigant actually flows much beyond the depth of penetration before it's being sucked out. So if that's going to be true, then the only point of concern by me is going to be solved. So before we conclude, I would like to say that the advantages of the system or the benefits are definitely going to outweigh whatever can be the limitations. So basically this is a very simpler system, though it's automated, and it is proven to have a better apical cleaning than any other irrigation system in the market, and it has a very controlled flow rate of 5 ml per minute, which can be set on the amount of irrigation time can be set in the system as well. So compared to manual irrigation where we can always rush, this is not going to happen here. And we have the advantage of warming the hypochlorite, which is again proven, and with all these benefits without the fear of extrusion. So from a clinician's point of view, what might be a concern according to me is the cost, which if you ask me personally, yes, it's definitely worth it for the benefits. And what needs to be clarified with future studies is this device solely enough for a complete endodontic irrigation, or do we also need to perform additional ultrasonic agitation in the end? So thank you so much for watching this video, and about this exciting product. We'll be coming up with more such videos soon.